Hello, this is a short introductory video for students wanting to use MindView for the production of essays, plans, presentations and revision notes. So if we click on the MindView icon, it will open on our desktop. Click OK here, and you'll be presented with an introduction menu where you can choose to either open things that you've already worked on, including some templates, or you can choose to start from scratch, and typically we'll do that with a mind map. We can do top down or left right, but I tend to prefer a more conventional kind of mind map. And what we're going to do, just to jazz it up a bit, we're going to flick through the different styles and find something that looks a bit more fun for this video. One of these takes us to outer space. There we are. Okay, so for this mind map I'm going to be covering the topic of which is better, cats or dogs? Oh, question mark. Okay, so enter will set that as my topic, and enter again will give me my first idea. So I'm just going to fire down some of the things that pop into my head. One might be which is more intelligent. That might be one way of deciding which is better, cats or dogs. Which are more loyal? Which are braver? Bravery. I have cats. I've never had a dog, so I'm kind of on the side of cats, but I think cats are going to lose out pretty much in every one of these fields. So maybe we should look at personality. Lifestyle. Dogs need walking. Life expectancy. Introduction, conclusion, environmental impact. I do believe dogs have a bit more of an impact on the environment than cats. We will put in I've run out of ideas. Okay, so these are the ideas I've got so far. I can always add more. So each time I wanted to add an idea at this level, I just pressed enter. Now I can navigate around with the cursor keys, or always use the mouse. I tend to prefer the keyboard where possible. So here I've highlighted life expectancy, and I'm going to insert cats and dogs. Large, small, because my understanding is large and small dogs have different average life expectancies, and I am going to now I want to move all three of these to come off dogs. So what I'm going to do is put the cursor nearby and draw a rectangle. Everything that rectangle touches will be selected. So here I've selected these 5 things. If I just want these 3, I just make sure the rectangle only touches them. Now if I click on them, move to where I want them, and let go, all 3 will now become subheadings of dogs. Large, small, medium. Now these green headings, the main headings, the structure of these is clockwise. So we definitely need to put introduction up here and conclusion up here. But at this next level that we have in blue, the order is, and in fact all levels from this level down, the order is top to bottom. So here we either need to go large, medium, small, or small, medium, large, just to be logical, if that makes sense. We might put bravery under loyalty, and walking under lifestyle. At the moment, the project we're working on, we'll introduce the topic and start with intelligence, then loyalty, personality, lifestyle, life expectancy, environmental impact, and conclusion. So we don't really have much of a narrative here, much of a story. There's no reason to start with intelligence. In fact, it probably wouldn't be the thing most people would think about. I think loyalty is probably a more comfortable way of starting. Lifestyle would seem to fit quite well towards the end, maybe near environmental impact and life expectancy. It probably isn't something people think about a great deal when they're choosing pets. Okay, so you can see I'm starting to apply a bit of a logical order, and as I say, this green level is clockwise, this blue level downwards is top to bottom, and that can kind of be demonstrated if we change the layout of the map. So if we go for a left-right map here, you can see the order is top to bottom, but we'll go back to the mind map, which will put it in clockwise. Okay, so what I could do is now go to the internet and do some research. You can see I've already started. Not the most academic of sources, but I'm going to Google cats and dogs and do an image search. Very cute pictures. Let's go for this one. Copy image, and I'm going to paste that here. So you can see I've now got this image kind of speaking to the central topic, and you can put images everywhere. You can also insert sound files if you want to make notes to yourself. I'm not able to do that at the moment because I'm making an audio recording as we talk, but you can see there's audio note options there. Okay, so that research I was doing, this is a general article about which is better, cats or dogs. Which is smarter, cats or dogs. So I'm going to copy this web address, come back to my map, and add a hyperlink. So here, I can type in the name of the website, so it looks, is it Fortune? And then here I can paste in the link. I'm going to get a paperclip up here next to my topic. If I click on that paperclip, it will list everything that I've attached. So if I click here, it will open up that website for me again. So this is a really excellent way of keeping track of your research. There it is. Here's another website. This is Wikipedia. It's all about the Dickin Medal, which is awarded for animal bravery. So we'll link that in to our bravery section. Wiki. And again, clicking on the paperclip shows us what we've got linked here. We can also add notes. If you're interested, I think we can make a fairly safe conclusion that dogs are braver than cats, because more dogs, you can see one cat only has ever won the Dickin Award, but there are numerous dogs. And pigeons seem also to do quite well in the award. It says something about warfare, I think. What I'm about to do is not something I'm advising you to do as a student. I'm going to copy some text from the internet, because on each of these headings you can add a text note. This is where you would actually write the content of your essay. We'll be looking at... Now, rather than try and write an essay as part of this video, I'm just going to paste in the text that I took from Wikipedia. And that's really just so we've got something to fill out these text fields. Now, every time I add a note, you will see, for example, here we don't have a paperclip, so there's nothing attached to this topic yet, but as soon as I add the note, it gets its own paperclip. So those things that have both a note and a link, they will be listed here, as will all the other links or anything else you might attach. Sometimes you do have to watch what happened just there. I clicked twice into this box, so it's now actually letting me edit the text. That's not what I want to do. I just want one click and then come over here to paste in or write in what it is I'm going to say. Cats and dogs. Lifestyle. I think that's enough. We don't need to do them all. You can also put in comments. So if you've ever used comments in Word, these are exactly the same. So check this with mentor tutor. This might be a comment to yourself or a co-author or something like that. And again, you can see that the comment is there. If you've got an idea that's suddenly just occurring to you, you can just start another map over here and then bring it in once you know where you want to use it. So let's just say compassion and add the note here. Okay, so these are the basic principles of MindView. You can do quite a bit more with it. There are, in particular, there are tools over on the right hand side, task and timeline. If you want, you can give start and end dates to each of these projects. So I may decide to myself that I'm not going to start working on my piece about environmental impact until Monday because I've got too much on, and that I'd like to have it done by Wednesday. This can also be used to export to Microsoft Outlook, so it can go in your diary, but you can also create timelines out of this. So if we click to timeline, what I can do is change my view to that timeline. Now I only actually put one timeline detail on there, and that's come in here. So starting here, finishing here, and I can add more details about when to start and finish things. We will go back to our map view, and what I'm going to do now is show you some of the final stages of MindView, because I think that should give you a good idea of how to use it. If we go to export, and I'm going to do a word export. Now there's two options here, quick or custom. I tend to go for custom. You've got various pre-programmed styles in here. If you're a psychologist, you'll be using this one. If you do any of the arts or humanities, you're probably using Harvard, Chicago, and various other referencing or layout styles. So I'm going to click on Harvard style. Then I'm going to go to general. Now it's up to you what you have here. I don't particularly like to send a picture of the map over. I also don't like to send over the icons. I forgot to show you how to use the icons, so I'll do that now actually. So here we had the timeline. There's a series of clip arts you can use. The icons are very useful. You can use these in any number of ways. So if you want to set priorities for certain things, so you hate writing your conclusions, so you're going to make that your first priority, you can do that. You can put in a smiley face to say I'm really happy with what I've done there. You could use flags or pins to connect pieces of information. So maybe, for example, everything where dogs win, I'm going to put a green in. Personally, I think that would be a cat. Or indeed, you could do this with the clip art. You could do this with a picture of a cat or a dog. Everywhere where dogs win, I'm going to put in a green flag. For cats, it'll be orange. So I think dogs win that one. I think cats win that one. And these progress markers are one of my favourite. What I tend to do is select an entire map and put these on everything. So these little buttons, little circles, we'll zoom in, have appeared on everything. And every time you click on one of these, it will fill up a bit. Something not very good with my computer, until it ticks off. So it's a good way of just keeping track of how far through each thing you've got. Yeah, sorry, that's a fault of my computer, but hopefully you did see it tick off and look like that. And then there's calculations, which you won't need to use at all, and I'll be honest, I don't know how to use them. Okay, so there's the map, and now we'll go back to the export. So File, Export. You can do other exports, have a play around with them, but we're going to do Word. Back to our custom export. I'm going to check the Harvard referencing, Harvard layout. General, now like I said, I don't tend to like to have the icons or the map image. Depending on what essay you're doing, probably worth checking out the pictures as well. Click export. It's going to ask you to save the file somewhere, so I'll just pop it on my desktop. It's saving now. Would you like to open the folder or open the document? We're just going to open the document. And then, because it's sent over some metadata to Word, it's going to ask me a few questions. To this I say yes, and this one it doesn't really matter if you do numbers or table. Update entire table. And what we should now see is this map turned into this assignment. Now, if you're not used to using comments, you might be confused by this margin on the right here. That's there because I added a comment, and you can see that here. Check this with Mentor Tutor, which is the comment that I added here. Okay, so what we have is a title, page, a table of contents, so this is everything we're going to cover in the right order, and then the actual document formatted out in Harvard style. Now, as I'm working on this essay, if I suddenly realise, oh, I've got a lot more I want to say about bravery, so I'm going to expand this section, I can then come back up to my table of contents, which will now be wrong because all these numbers from bravery onwards will be out of sync. I can right click on the table, update the field, and you can now see all the numbers have been updated to reflect that I wrote a lot more under bravery. If we want, we can actually also send that back to MindView. I don't have the plugin saved here, but if we save it, go back to MindView and import, we can import. That's interesting. I'm not sure why that's greyed out. Maybe it's because I haven't added the plugin, but that should be absolutely fine with your installation. So that's just a general overview of MindView. I hope that makes sense and proves useful. Thank you very much.